Well, here we are, sending data, streaming. I'm just running a test because I've had to set up this new studio and nothing's working. It's going really, really not well. Anyway, so I'm just testing some things out. I don't know if the chat's working, so I'm just going to chat myself here. Chat, chat, chat. Boom. Wait, was that? Was that? Oh, live chat. I didn't put it in the live chat, did I? Bear with me. Oh, there's two people watching. Cool. Just bear with me, folks. Just checking if the chat is even going to appear. Well, how about that Epstein motherfucker? Apparently, he didn't do nothing. Oh, look, there it is. The chat is working. I'm really enjoying. I don't really have much to say. This is seriously just a test because I've got interviews coming up and stuff. And I'm having to run everything once again off my goddamn laptop, which I have had to put a new hard drive in so I can't install any of my old fucking programs. What the fuck, Mac? You cunts. I've paid like thousands of dollars for software and they won't let me re-download it onto another hard drive. I do have the Mac Mini here, but every time I go to the shop, I buy new stuff, buying all the connectors, buying all the right stuff. I get it home. There's always something missing. Fucking computers, man. Someone should make a computer system that just works and is not a constant fucking rip-off because you're updating the fucking... Not me, of course. I'm busy. Anyway, I'm really loving checking out Tim Pool at the White House, Tim Pool on a podcast. Yes, Matan took his hat off, apparently. It's kind of amazing the Israeli bots, I guess, are really doing a good job of keeping up with the anti-Semitism by making the pro-Semitism. It's really fun. You go on X and it's like we did nothing wrong. There's no. There's one up here. It says where was it? Where was it? There's no famine in Gaza. The Palestinians are always lying, as they have a reputation to do, don't they? Oh, those Palestinians poisoning wells, getting kicked out of all those countries. Amazing the reputation that they have. Isn't it, you Israeli fucks? Then you go, I'm watching the news here. I don't normally watch the news, but the news is always on here. And it's like you go on here and there's politicians going, Israel are our greatest ally. We stand with Israel. You turn on the news, it's like the headline is, Israel did some more horrific shit today. And they keep doing it. No one likes you, Israel. No one's happy with you. Why don't you just fucking give it up? You can justify this all you want in whatever twisted way you want. No one is buying it. I remember when I was a kid, like there was some fucking I ain't gonna play Sun City. I don't know if you remember that shit, but everyone was all up in arms because of the fucking South African fucking apartheid situation. Everyone was like, oh, it's unfair, man. I was too young to really understand it or know anything about world politics, but I don't believe... Check me if I'm wrong. There's probably some people that know more about it. I don't believe they were starving them to death. But everyone got behind ending the apartheid there. Roger, but I got no place else to go. I can dig it. Me either. I'm in Excitement City. I'm in a little town in rural Victoria called Oyen. And Oyen is just like Las Vegas, except without any of the anything. None of the people, gambling, hookers, drugs, excitement, mass shootings. I suppose that's a plus. There's still stuff on the there's still stuff coming out about that Las Vegas shooting. That was one of the weirdest events. There was some kind of I've got it in my things there. Anyway, how you all doing out there? I haven't been on for a while. I haven't had anyone to interview. Harps couldn't do it this weekend. We were going to have some kind of debate. It was going to be the most ridiculous debate. I was basically just going to be defending Christianity, not from a point of view of a Christian, because I'm not really a Christian, but just anyway, and he was going to be taking the other side of the argument because he's a big, fat, stinky poo-poo head, which was going to be the basis of my argument for the debate. It is my contention that you, sir, are a great big fat poopy stinky head. This book is in French. Jadis, je me souviens bien, ma vie était une festin. Let me translate. Once, if I remember rightly, my life was a feast at which all hearts opened and all wines flowed. One evening I set Beauty on my knee. She was 12 years old. These French writers are disgusting. Oh my God. I think at some point, I don't know. We just have to, I think Tim Dillon put it best. I think he said, just choose your pedophile. We've got to do something about these pedophiles. We've got to either just kill them all, donate their dicks to trans men, cut off their dicks and donate them to trans men so they can have an actual cock and, you know, not fuck up their arms. Or we just go, oh, well, there's pedophiles in the world. This middle way where there's secret fucking these evil fucks. I don't think I could ever accept pedophiles. I think it's probably best if we just execute them on the White House lawn, yeah. So what else happened this week? There was a big data leak from some app. Yeah, well, that's what you get, you stupid bitches. When you create a fucking app to bitch about men and no men are involved in the creating of the app, that's what's going to fucking happen. You're going to completely fuck it up. Oh, no, women. I love women. I love them. They're the greatest. What the fuck just happened then? Oh, it's my microphone thingy. No, but this data breach, people are actually freaking out about it. It's actually quite bad. There's people are on military bases and there's people, very powerful people, had their data on there, had their info on there. There's fucking... It's just insane, though. It's like... It really does show how women work, how that toxic femininity works. Talk about toxic masculinity. Well, that's how toxic fucking femininity works. They'll just destroy people. And they'll destroy people to get ahead themselves. They're the most fucking sociopathic people. And we have to live with them. But we tolerate them. And that's love. See, we would fucking just do away with all of yous. But we are aware that, you know, We need you for the survival of the species, so we tolerate you. And that is the greatest love of all. Like I say, I don't have anything prepared. I don't have anything to say much. I just really wanted to see if the thing's working and the chat is working, so that's cool. Let's go over to Twitter and see what we can find over here. See if anything's good and exciting on Twitter. Are you sitting down? Get this. The Handala flotilla activists were trying to smuggle drugs into Gaza. Well, if there's one fucking place in the world that needs drugs right now, I'd say it's Gaza. Drop in some fucking, like, ecstasy and some... Then they'll blame Israel for putting drugs in their humanitarian aid. Well, you do have a bit of a, bit of a reputation for that, don't you, Israel? You fucks. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Ramallah incident in 2001, where they flooded Ramallah with pornography. And people have been doing this for years, where they'll flood a place with pornography. There was one in Africa somewhere, but they were just dropping DVDs. So like you hire people to go around, like, drop pamphlets and shit in people's houses. These fuckers were doing it just with DVDs, just dropping DVDs of porn off to everyone. But in Ramallah, the Israeli army went in and they took over 3 Palestinian TV stations. And they just started broadcasting porn. And the 4th station that they didn't take over were broadcasting just a tight message along the bottom that was like, oh, Nazi hunters, this fucking idiot. Yeah, the call's coming from inside the house, buddy. Anyway, the 4th one was running a thing saying, we don't believe that these are, we think something's happened. They've been taken over. The only reason that they stopped broadcasting the porn was because a Jewish woman complained. She was picking it up on her TV, and they were like, oh, no, we don't want to broadcast this to Jews, because there's actually a law in Israel, I believe it is, that makes it very difficult to watch porn in Israel, because they're aware of what it is. So when they're spreading it to other communities, like the Palestinian community, there's a reason for that. And the reason is pornography is a weapon. It's why it's free to us. We can watch anything, anyone do anything to another person anytime. Just Google it and put the word porn in front of it and tell them you're 18, which has got to be the greatest security measure known. This is fun. So the English swine, the English bastards just passed a law. English bastards. So they just passed a law, the Online Safety Act, which basically means that if you're on the internet, you have to upload, like, you have to verify yourself. So they want to know who you are at all times. So now, sales of VPNs in England went off the fucking charts. Millions and millions of dollars, pounds rather. Millions of pounds. All the pounds. Take me down to Pound Town. That's what London is, Pound Town. Anyone that comes from England comes from Pound Town. So down in merry old Pound Town, they want to ban VPNs. Labor support for VPN restrictions after Online Safety Act fail. Let's take a look. Well, that's just a photo. That's no good. Here we go. There's the article. All right, we'll switch over to there. So the article is... Now, I don't know how serious this is. I mean, it looks like absolute trash, really. This looks like not the kind of thing you would really trust where you get your information from. But anyway, let's read it anyway. Could be fun. Exclusive. Labor could ban VPNs after Online Safety Act surge. Labor support for VPN restrictions after Online Safety Act fail. Labor could ban the use of virtual private networks after their use has skyrocketed to avoid the restrictions imposed by the Online Safety Act. Logical next step for the authoritarians. A VPN reroutes a device's internet traffic through another country. Swiss Proton VPN became the UK's top free app on Apple's App Store over the weekend, with downloads up 1,800%. NordVPN reported a 1,000% spike in purchases from the UK. Half of the top 10 free apps on the store are now VPNs. Well done, lads. Labor has previously supported moves to restrict VPN usage when the Online Safety Act was first going through Parliament. People got ahead of it. Of course you did. Of course you fucking did. Prominent backbench MP Sarah Champion. What a great fucking name. Sarah Champion. Launched a campaign against them. My new Clause 54 would require the Secretary of State to publish, within 6 months of the bill's passage, a report on the effects of VPN use on Ofcom's ability to enforce the requirements under Clause 112. If VPNs cause significant issues, the government must identify those issues and find solutions rather than avoiding difficult problems. Champion was supported by the Labor frontbench. The party said there were gaps in the bill that needed to be amended. Shadow Digital Minister Alex Davies-Jones. Shadow Digital, that's spooky. Said at the time that the clause touches on the issue of future-proofing, which Labor has raised repeatedly in debates on the bill. So, yeah, like I say, I don't know how. Under the terms of the Act, all platforms are not allowed to promote VPNs as an alternative to ID checks. Labor will be minded to go much further. Well, you're not going to stop people. I mean, that's kind of amazing. You know, the internet was invented to like when the internet was invented, it was like going to be this incredible revolution. It was like, you know, we were going to connect humanity and share the high. The internet was originally shared for scientists to share articles and figure out shit, and you'd be on one side of the planet and they'd be like firing off all sorts of nonsense at you, and you'd go, wow, we just cracked cold fusion thanks to the internet. That was the goal. And then one day someone figured out you could upload titties, and that was the end of it. Still, we got titties. I'm not complaining about the titties. Okay, let me be clear. Not complaining about the titties. Fan of the titties. I like the titties. It's everything else. Elon Musk is one of the richest men on the planet once again. Still, how does he do it? How does he do it? How does he become the richest man on earth? From a lowly South African with dreams and hopes of becoming a fucking cunt. And he did it. He made his dad proud. I don't know why it's New Zealand now. All hands on Dick. They do realise VPNs have other uses other than for teenage boys to access porn, right? Yeah, well. Oh, this was good, yeah. Okay. I'm just doing reposts at the moment. I'll dig into the I'll dig into other stuff in a sec.
Shit.
But
What?
this,
I mean, obviously you're joking.
No.
this I really liked. Ari, rather. Ari talking about how things change. And this is absolutely true. This is what I've been talking about since I started this thing. This is how things change. What we're doing at the moment is not going to work. It's never going to work. We're never going to vote our way out of this level of slavery that we're in, because slavery was never abolished. It was just outsourced. They just pulled this little trick. It was a good trick. Fucking hats off to them. You know, but it's a trick.
I don't give a shit.
You don't find it a great
I really don't care
treasure
about politics.
trove of
Some people
material?
do. I don't. I think the system is corrupt. Every time I'm walking on the street, somebody's like, hey, vote for so-and-so. I'm like, it's all corrupt. Anarchy is the only way we're going to change anything. Violence. Kill a politician. That's the only way you can change shit.
What?
Thank you. Ari, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're joking.
No.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, voting is not going to make a difference. It has never. Not in 100 years.
So what would you like to see?
I'd like to see some politicians start getting murdered and reform this government.
Oh my
Into one that's
God.
not corrupted. I'd like to get business out of government, and they're not going to do it. So the only way to do that is start killing people.
That is, that seriously is the only way to fix this. Donald Trump is not, I don't know if anyone's catching on yet. Donald Trump supporters out there, I know how hardcore the MAGA people are. I don't know if you quite worked it out yet that Donald Trump is not acting in your best interests. He's acting in his. The motherfucker fucking pulled out his own, created his own coin, and then rug pulled everyone. I think before he even fucking got in office officially. And then did it again with his wife as the front. It's and the power is going to come to whoever does it first. If the leftist type people step up and do it, it's going to be an absolute shit show. I don't know if the right will be any better, but whoever does it first, yeah, they're going to be the ones that achieve the power. But also a lot of people will get, murdered unnecessarily, because once you've served your purpose as a useful idiot, and I'm going to go over to Yuri in a sec. I've got a Yuri video, which you've probably all seen already, but he makes a lot of good points anyway. Let's hear out Ari.
Isn't that exactly what
Look
you
around the
don't
world.
want?
How has anything changed around the world? How has any regime change happen around the world? Violence. That's the only way.
It's the only way.
You
Violence
think
is the
people
only
in
way.
Arab
Man.
countries are that much different than us?
Yeah.
Violence. That's the only way you depose a system that doesn't represent the people anymore.
Do you think it was an accident that the hippies all went on about peace and love and all that stuff? The complaint that most people have about Christians, and which I've got to agree with, this is a big complaint that people have about Christians, is they just let shit go. They don't really do anything. They're all about this kind of existential, spiritual fucking escapism that's like, God will take care of it. And no, you're supposed to do this shit yourself. And this is like, I don't even have children. I would like to have children. but I don't currently have children. And the way the world's going, I keep thinking, well, I'm probably better off. I don't know that I want to bring fucking kids into this world. But if you've got kids, you should be out there going, let's do this. Let's organize and start showing, like, I don't know. I've been a big proponent of this for a while because it always amazes me when some fucking immigrant goes wherever and he just starts raping and murdering, and they go, oh, we need to put him in jail. The amount of fucking people that are like, the amount of immigrants that end up, they do some really horrific shit. And like, I'm not fucking digging on just fucking immigrants. Most immigrants are great, right? Your first generation immigrants are, like in Australia, they're more Aussie than most Aussies that have been here a long time. They're fucking hardcore about it. But you get a lot of these fucking people who are sent here to disrupt and to cause mayhem. That is their job. That's why they've been sent here, or Europe, or England, or wherever. And they've, been taken out of prisons and sent over. They dump human garbage on anywhere they want to destroy. So that's what they're doing. The rest of them are just cheap wage slaves. That's what that's about. It's all economics. It's economically ideological. That is the point. That is the system I would put it in. It comes from economics first and then ideologically. I would take that, like they take these people. There was a guy in Europe recently, England, I think, raped a girl, a 12-year-old girl or something, in a fucking, just in a, outdoors, in a, I can't think of the word. Anyway. And didn't get a lot of punishment. And the whole thing was, the lawyer was saying, well, he comes from a different place where they have different way of doing things. And they, like, anyone that went there illegally would have been sent home immediately. They just re-rotated this guy into the system. See, I would take those guys. I would take that guy and I would absolutely flay the flesh off his body with a whip first. And then I would pike him. I'd kill him and pike him. Put his head on a pike. That's what they used to do to people. So that's what you need to do. You need to show these people a level of discouragement. But what's going on now, especially with white people, with all the fucking lefty kind of fucking liberal viewpoint of like, let's just welcome everyone in. Everyone's great. Everyone's just like us. New Year's Eve, we were in the city. We were in a club. And there were three Indian dudes, and there was a white guy talking to them, and he was really drunk, and he was going, oh, so great you're here, fucking welcome, oh, mate, oh, no, we're all the same, oh, peace and love. And the Indian guys were just looking at him like, you fucking piece of filth. They did not like this guy. Then he came over and talked to me, and I don't blame them. I don't like the guy either. Everything that does, that fucks up them as well, is the point. Because if they come to this country and they are met with a wall of people just going, you fucking watch yourself, mate. You fucking don't fucking step out of line. You fucking bail. And like if people are hardcore about it, if people are like really, do not fuck with us, then they won't fuck with them, and they'll eventually fit in. And then they'll be the first generation will be really hardcore. Don't fuck with us. Don't fuck with our country. Have some fucking pride in our country. But when they come here and they're met with a bunch of fucking liberal ass pussy faggots, they just think, well, we can do whatever the fuck we want. It doesn't help anyone. And then you get people, it's the extremes. You get the extremes in both directions. Anyway.
I mean, I think the wonderful thing about the United States is that we can vote, and you do change
Your
administration.
vote doesn't go anywhere. Your vote doesn't do anything.
Yes, it does.
You can now be arrested and never tried if they say you're a terrorist. Never tried in your life. Just arrested and held forever. Who voted for that?
So shoot them all.
No, not shoot them all. Start shooting them until they get business out of politics and they start representing who we are instead of their money interests. Yeah, violence. That's the only way shit changes, man.
Okay.
Look at history. Tell me when a regime has changed with voting. I mean, I know.
I'm not trying.
That's not fair because you haven't studied this stuff.
Well, no, I'm not trying to, murder politicians. I'm not trying to do what I don't like that others do that I would like to change, so I will shoot somebody because I'm pissed off that they're shooting somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not the way that I think, but that's fine. We think differently.
I think even if you don't want to shoot somebody, don't vote. Voting is you complicitly saying, I support this system.
What if we vote for shooting people? What if we have a vote of who we should shoot, and whoever gets the most votes gets shot? That way everyone's happy. This guy's happy because he got to vote. Ari's happy because someone got shot. I gotta say, Ari's probably my favorite Jew. Because I like the Jews. I know everyone's supposed to hate the Jews. I don't like Israel. I don't like what a lot of, I know a lot about the Jews. I know a lot about I know all that shit. But I also know many Jews and I like them. They are an interesting people. Not a fan of Israel. Not a fan of Jews as a group, but individually, some of them are quite fun. I think Jesus would have been like Ari. Jesus was the Ari Shafir of his day.
And I don't support it anymore. I don't. We're killing people in Yemen. We're murdering families in Yemen that aren't associated with any sort of terrorist thing. It was just an oopsie when we killed a wedding party. And Obama, the fucking hope change guy, just refused to comment on it. That's cool. Do what you want. It's not going to change. Your voting is not going to change that. I know one way that it'll change. I can look at history and tell you this is the way things change. Look at whenever a black guy gets shot. It's oh, it's bad. If this is a riot, no one comments on it. Those things go under the radar. When there's a riot in Baltimore, it's hold on. We've got to rethink the system here in Baltimore because people went crazy. That's just in history, here and elsewhere. That's the only way shit changes.
All right, we'll agree to disagree on that.
And I guarantee the
Agree to disagree. No, I don't agree to that. That was Axel posted that. Our founders specifically added a Second Amendment because violence is in fact the answer in some cases. Now, if that's a fact, tell me, am I lying? Because you are part cantaloupe. You are part eggplant. I forgot the vegetable he said. It's eggplant. But it really is a situation where I think people need to get a little more nationalistic. Get a little bit more pride. The problem is no one owns anything. See, this is the plan. All these fucking people who keep talking about socialism, we want socialism and blah, blah, blah. Well, you're getting it, you fucking idiots. What you're being walked into right now is socialism. It's what you're getting. And you don't like it. Already you don't like it. You're oh, there's too many billionaires. Billionaires are the problem. Used to be millionaires were the problem. Seems like there's something else at play. Maybe it's the inflation. Maybe it's the people behind the inflation. Maybe it's the bankers. I'll tell you what, if we went out and shot some bankers and politicians, I'm just saying, I'm just asking questions. You know what I mean? Where were we? Yuri. I've got a Yuri clip here. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but Come on, where is it? I'm sure you're all familiar with the clip anyway. Anyone that's ever played Call of Duty or... okay. There is one other option. I didn't save it to the things. I just reposted it. Anyway, you're all familiar with Yuri Bezhimov, I'm sure. Like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. If you're watching this for the first time, that'd be really cool. That'd really help out. All right, no, I don't think I saved the clip. So this was fun. Yeah, this guy, Nazi Hunters, says, Jews not so easy to fuck with anymore. Nazi Hunter. Yeah, I think the call may be coming from inside the house. Anyway. Oh, this was fucking great, actually. The Florida guy who threatened to murder everyone on the Epstein client list and was arrested because he threatened to murder everyone on the client list, really pulled a brilliant move, because if there's no list, he didn't threaten to murder anyone. If there is a list, if it goes to court, I mean, shit, won't they have to produce the list? I don't like the way the media is handling this whole fucking Epstein thing, to be honest. I saw someone put up a post of someone saying, Trump saying, there is a list. It wasn't. Trump was saying, I'll give you a list of something else. I'll give you a list of people, but yeah, anyway. Oh, this is an interesting, it's not exactly a poll, but let me know what you think. Which of these guys is the most insufferable controlled opposition? The poll's good. Shapiro, Peterson, Lindsay, the gay dude on the left. I don't have any thinking music. I should have some thinking music happening. I honestly can't decide which of them is the most insufferable. Anyway. I found this. I'll show you this video. I found quite interesting. This is creepy as fuck. But I found this very interesting because this is the difference between the way. Just see if you notice anything different here. Like, this is a white kid getting arrested. Now think about all those videos you've seen of black people getting arrested. And just notice the subtle differences in levels of compliance.
Got ID on you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, just don't reach for the knife, okay?
Apologies. Do you want to hold it, actually, sir?
Sure.
Yeah, my apologies on that.
By chance, like any gloves, ski masks, anything like that on you?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
Gets kind of cold out.
Okay. You want to be honest with me with what you're doing out here?
Yes, sir.
What are you doing?
I was going to my ex house, sir.
Ex's house?
Yeah.
To do what?
Just to watch her, sir.
Just to watch her?
for break-in, sir.
Break in? What were you going to break in to do?
I don't know, sir.
Is this an like ex-girlfriend that you don't get along with?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What were you going to do with the knife? Were you going to use the knife on her?
No, sir.
What were you going to do then?
Oh,
Did you want to hurt her?
no.
Then why were you going to break into her house? It's middle of the night. You've got a glove mask. You've got a ski mask, lock picks, a knife on you. You're telling me that you're going to go break into your ex's house. Well, I mean, what's the intention, man? Walk me through it. It's middle of the night.
That's true love, man. That's the cops getting in the way of true love. He was just going to break into his ex's place, man. But do you notice the subtle difference between the video of a white kid getting arrested and just absolutely complying and just being like, yeah, I was just on my way to break into Meg's. Like, he knows he's caught. He knows he's fucked. So he just gives up. Fucking hell. Should we watch? I guess we could watch this one as well. I'll just roll through some things. I really just came on to see if the chat was working. The chat is working. That's very cool. It's actually working better than I had it working before. I can't have the girls in the background at the moment because I don't have a video editor. So I might download DaVinci or something and fuck all this Apple shit off. Even though I've paid thousands for their fucking software, it's fucking garbage. But at least it's not a fucking subscription thing. Fuck you, Adobe. You fucking Adobe dick-sucking fucking motherfuckers. You can't even end your subscription without paying hundreds of dollars. It's fucking ridiculous. How they get away with this shit is beyond me. But that's...
Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about? And I said, I had pretty conventional thinking about it.
Women's liberation was about jiggly tits.
At that point, I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote. You
know, we only had the right to vote 10 years longer than them.
You know? And he started to laugh. He said, you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded Women's Lib. And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. And you want to know why? He said there were two primary reasons. And they were, one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before Women's Lib. And the second reason was now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. It breaks up the family. The kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them. And so those are the two primary reasons for Women's Lib, which I thought up to that point was a noble thing. You know, when I saw their intentions behind it, where they were coming from when they created it, the thought of it, I saw the evil behind what I thought was a noble event.
It's amazing how many great thinkers and philosophers throughout history have basically given instruction on how to destroy a civilization. And they're just following that playbook. There's another one that says, if you want to destroy a nation without firing a shot, make nudity or adultery commonplace in the next generation. And that's what they've done. Like, we are in the, I don't know, I'm sure you've all seen that video before. But that was filmed a long time ago. I can't remember how long ago that was. Probably 1,000 years ago they filmed that video and put it on TikTok. It was definitely last century anyway. I'm pretty sure it was. Maybe it wasn't. Because you come here for facts, right, people? Meanwhile, in Australia, how are things going here in Australia? This is a bit of a long video. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but just listen to what this guy has to say.
So it's just been over 7 months of being homeless. A lot of hard lessons, mentally and emotionally, but I've come out of it clearer. I've had time to really reflect on where this country is going, and I want to share what I've seen, what I've lived, and why I think Australia is in serious trouble. I'm Godfrey. I'm an electrical and instrumentation technician, and I've done everything by the book. Got a trade, done FIFO, paid my taxes, but somehow I still ended up homeless. And now I'm planning on leaving Australia.
See, now that's interesting.
During the pandemic, we were locked down at homes like criminals.
Someone said to me the other day, someone was talking about a group that they joined, and they were suggesting that I join the group. So I said I'd take a look at it. But he mentioned a friend of mine who has basically betrayed his people and left Australia. And I'm kind of in the middle on it. I don't know. I know at times I kind of think, yeah, no, we should stay and fight. But then I also look around at the situation and go, yeah, staying and fighting, that's not going to fucking happen. Like, bailing on Australia at this point, it's like, all these fucking fights should have happened 20 fucking years ago or 10 years ago. I mean, it should have happened during COVID. But look, these are the people that are on your side. These are the people you're fighting for and fighting with, fighting alongside. Are you going to trust these cunts that gave you up during COVID?
Criminals allowed for just 1 hour a day, while our so-called leaders and their mates ignored the rules completely, travelling, gathering, living freely, as the rest of us were punished for doing the same. If you dared question it, you were shouted down, labelled an anti-vaxxer or a conspiracy theorist. We lost our freedom to choose, and many lost their jobs. And while we were locked down, they dropped interest rates to 0.1%, encouraged people to dip into their super, handed out stimulus checks, and flooded the market with cheap debt. At the time, mortgage repayments were cheaper than rent, so many first home buyers rushed into the market without fully grasping the long-term consequences when rates eventually rose.
How good was that? They shut down the country, they shut down the economy, and they offered you cheap loans. Cheap loans. Not interest-free loans. Not loans that, can be paid back when you've got it. They took away your ability to make money and then gave you a loan. Do you see how fucking evil that is?
House prices soared, but not because of real growth, but because of artificial stimulus.
Fucking rent seekers. It's the fucking rent seekers. Even through COVID, when they were like, oh, no, you can't throw people out of their houses, they were just fucking lining up and waiting. And every time someone didn't pay their rent, it went on the bill. It all went on the bill, and as soon as they could throw people out, they threw people out. Now, there were also a lot of people who went, oh, I don't have to pay rent. Great, I'm not going to fucking pay rent. But still, if you fucking shut down the economy, if you're running the country and you decide to shut down the country and the economy, surely you should take some fucking responsibility. And there should not be people having to repay these fucking loans. That's just my thought.
Fear took over. People rushed in, terrified of being left behind. Meanwhile, everything kept rising. Groceries, fuel, rent. And instead of fixing that, our government gave us a referendum to argue over.
Oh, that was fucking ridiculous, the referendum. Anyway, this is why I formed my own political party. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's the BoxOfDogs party. I don't know what it's called yet, but vote for me or get fucked. I'm still working things out, but the first thing I'm going to do is make it illegal to own an investment property. If you have one child, you can own one investment property. If you have two children, you can own two investment properties. And those properties will go to your children. So you can still... But this idea of people who own 10, 20... I know a guy who fucking owns 3 investment properties. He's a comedian. He just does his fucking job, works... You know, good on him. He's working hard, whatever. But he could have put that fucking money in investments. He, you know, there are strong investments that you could easily invest the money in, and you do better than the housing market. But this fucking everyone putting it into this. Oh, it's safe as houses. Every time some cunt buys a fucking investment property, someone else does not have a home. Now, of course, there will be certain exemptions to this law of not being allowed, but only for me. It's the same as like I'm going to instantly restructure the gun laws. No one in Australia can have guns except me. That's going to be a big part of my platform and people in my party. If you vote for me, I'll let you have a gun.
Over the past few years, they've ramped up immigration at a scale the system can't absorb. That's my issue. Not immigration itself, but the reckless speed and volume. It's pouring fuel on the housing crisis. Vacancy rates are at rock bottom. Lines at rental inspections stretch down the block. Families are living in tents. We see this every day. It's exhausting just trying to find something half decent. And what they ask for it is daylight robbery. And even then, you're up against 50 others. In the past 12 months, I've dealt with 2 different real estate agents. One handed us a home infested with cockroaches and rats, completely unlivable. And the other left us in a flood-damaged property, refusing to take action during an emergency situation, saying they were only allowed to spend up to $250 for maintenance. They ignored our concerns completely. That was the final straw that pushed us into homelessness. There's no accountability anymore. And with vacancy rates so low, they know they can get away with it.
Yeah, that is very true. The state of the rental... It's fucking savage out there. I mean, even when I first went to Mildura a couple of years ago, I went and lived in Mildura for a little while. We were staying in a motel for about 3 months, and there was just nothing. And the real estate agents are a fucking scam. They will throw everything at every little fucking investment property that they've tucked away. They'll try and get you in there at the highest fucking rent with the most ridiculous conditions. One of the places we looked at, they're like, oh, there will be work upstairs for like about 6 months. And the place was a fucking trashy ex-motel that they'd converted. And, yeah, it was like, it was in one of the most expensive properties we saw. It was garbage, and there was going to be like work going on every day for 6 months, and they still just felt fine about overcharging for this fucking thing. We were lucky the house we ended up getting, but like we saw another place where it was, they were like, we turned up for the inspection. It was just like 5 or 6 families all crowding this thing. It was a garbage area. Yeah, it was just very fucked up.
This isn't just an economic crisis anymore. This is social decay. I've lost the freedom to choose where I live in my own country. This didn't happen by accident. We financialised housing to the point where it's no longer about shelter, it's just speculation. We glorify OnlyFans models, tradies, property investors, and everyday Aussies stacking investment properties like housing is the ultimate measure of success. For many tradies, it's a way out of the collapsing middle class. Riding the bubble instead of relying on the trade that once gave them dignity and stability. And for everyday Australians with a mortgage, the illusion of wealth created by rising property values keeps many content and silent.
The ridiculous thing is, it's probably the most... I don't know. I don't think housing is really a particularly good investment. when you going, I understand why people invest in it. It's measurable. You can pay it off over time. But what you end up paying for the place when you do anything through credit, it's a ridiculous way to do things. If you were if you'd started putting, like, what are you paying off on an investment property? Like, let's say it's $1,000 a week. Say the mortgage, you work it out, it's $4,000 a month. So that's $1,000 a week. If you'd put $1,000 a week into Bitcoin since like 20 whatever, or you'd put it in the S&P, you'd be doing a fucking lot better than some cunt with a house anyway. So there are better investments. There's better ways to save your money. These investments aren't going to fucking drain your bank. They're not going to... Anyway.
Despite everything else crumbling behind the scenes. Safety in this country has fallen apart. Knife crime, youth gangs, violent assaults in broad daylight. These problems are happening nationwide now. Big cities, small towns, country communities. And yet we let violent offenders walk free on bail, back out into our streets. But we're told to stay quiet. We stay quiet in fear of being called a racist, for pointing out what's right in front of us.
That's the point. That's why they've brought in all this. That's why they've done all this, making racism, being a racist or a homophobe is the worst thing you can be. They're not even bad things. I don't even believe in racism as a bad thing. Like, they've put a stink on it. Racism is just noticing racial differences. Racism is saying there are differences between black people and white people and Asian people. And the fact is, the system is racist. When the system in America, for example, when you go to get into Harvard, if you're a black person, you'll get in on a lower score than an Asian person. Because those fucking Asians are out there killing it with their fucking, because that's what happens when you're like, when you just yell at your children every day to practice their kung fu and violin and go study for like 20 hours a day, you end up with these freaks. So, I don't think racism is a bad thing. I don't think that's why I don't care if people call me a racist. I don't give a shit, because so what? It's you that puts the stink on the word, not me. There was a machete battle at Doncaster Shopping Centre a little while ago. And then there was a follow-up one, and the police came out to calm people. They said, oh, don't worry, it was a gang-related thing. So they were just trying to kill gang members. And this was how they calm people down.
Wages have flatlined while everything else keeps climbing. Debt, stress, depression. Median house prices have now passed $1 million, 10 times the average wage. Nearly half of this country is living on less than $1,000 a week. One unexpected bill or emergency, and it's all over. And with 43% of Australian adults expected to face a mental health crisis, that's not a coincidence. That's cause and effect. And still the government pushes fake solutions. They blame a supply issue while letting builders collapse and flooding the country with demand. Then they offer a 2% deposit loan with government as guarantor. It sounds helpful, but it's another trap. More debt, more control, and no real solution.
Yeah, it's they are pushing us towards AI doing everything, universal basic income, whatever the fuck that shit. It's socialism. They're pushing us into a socialist fucking nightmare. And more about the racism, it just sticks in my craw, because when I was coming up, we weren't racist. We had friends of all colour. The only people that got called out were cunts. If someone was being a cunt, you called them out for being a cunt. That was it.
We gave in, got muzzled, traded our values for a beer or a mortgage. Now we're trapped. Multiple jobs, side hustles, overtime just to stay afloat. I see a lot of men struggling, but holding on to the old "she'll be right," while quietly breaking down from burnout. Families are breaking apart under the pressure. I see dads getting caught up in custody battles, barely getting to see their own kids. We've normalised being in debt forever, staying silent at work to protect your job, paying income tax to build and maintain gas plants, while they ship it offshore, only for us to buy it back at a premium. We were promised cheap electricity through green energy, but now people have to choose between heating their homes and putting food on the table.
That's one of the greatest scams. We actually give away a lot of our natural gas. We give it a lot of it to Japan. We give it to them. We're one of the only places in the world where they fucking pillage our natural resources and don't give us a cut. Most other places in the world, when they come in and they're like, we're taking the oil out of the ground and you're all going to get a cut. In Alaska, I think it is, everyone gets a monthly check from the mining companies. It's like, here's your cut. But greed has just made, I would agree that there are certain billionaires that are the problem. I don't think billionaires are the problem. I think certain fucking billionaires are the problem. Gina Reinhardt is a problem. That level of fucking billionaire. But there's plenty of money to be made out there. You just got to get out there and fucking make it. You got to find ways to make the money. You got to invest. You got to grow. And no matter how much you invest and grow, like I had a bunch of crypto a while ago, then COVID hit. The crypto market crashed. I pulled all my money out and it just fucking, through COVID, thousands of dollars just fucking pissed away. I think I ended up with about $5,000 at the end of it. But I had that to get me through that. So I got through it. But, that's what you got. You just got to build that fucking wealth in this world. You got to, like, I'm at the point now, I've given up. Like I used to always be, I think like, oh, is this good for humanity? Is that bad for humanity? I mean, I do have a couple of business ideas that are actually really good for humanity. I don't know how well they will take off because they are good for humanity. They are good for the environment. It's good for the environment. It's a little extra effort on people's part, but it's good for the environment. It's good for your health. It's taking a lot of microplastics out of circulation. Anyway, that's something I'm working on. But the rest of the time, I think about other business ideas. I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. I don't give a fuck about like caring about people that don't fucking care about themselves. This is how the Tate brothers got rich. Like they can come out now and go, oh, porn's fucked and women are whores, but they were very much a part of that, making those women whores, and very much part of that system. But they have the right mindset where they're just like, you know what, fuck these people. If you're stupid enough to buy this shit, then that's on you. And I'm just coming to that. I'm just like, you know what, fuck people.
And it's the working class Aussies who pay the biggest price. I spent years doing maintenance overhauls on gas plants, oil refineries, power stations, doing 12-hour shifts, weeks on end. We miss birthdays, we miss family, we miss the chance to actually be there, just to keep this country running. Meanwhile, the profits are sent overseas, and we get the leftovers.
That's it. As far as I'm concerned, until people are ready to stand up and fix this shit, but most people won't because most people are comfortable. Comfort is one of the worst things. Comfort is something that will fucking destroy you. But, comfort's addictive. I like comfort. I'm not, I'm not putting myself above. I do remove myself from comfortable situations regularly, and I could be a lot more comfortable. But I also, at the same time, I am very aware of when I fall into comfort. and take the easier way out. But it's this thing of having fought this shit for so long, after a while you get tired, you give up. You're like, I'm on my own out here. I'm trying to fight for people who don't give a shit. I'm fighting for people who just shit on me online and fucking yell at me and tell me to shut up and call me a conspiracy theorist. Those are the people you're fucking fighting for. Fuck. Why would you fight for them? Why? Eventually you get to the point where you realize humanity is a slough of disgust and fucking, humanity's great as well. Humanity is, peak humanity's great, but fuck me. This is the system we're walking into. If people don't fucking wake up and do something about this shit, it's like, this is, I can't imagine the fucking world that you're leaving to your kids. We're leaving to, like, this is why I keep going around in circles on the whole having kids thing. It's like, do I really want to fucking bring slaves into this world? Which reminds me of something. Did you ever, when you were a kid, did you ever have your parents say, you'd leave a door, you'd walk through a door and you wouldn't close it, and they'd be like, were you born in a tent? You'd be like, oh, I don't know. It's a little hazy, to be honest. I was only there for half the day. Let's be real. You had more fucking say on where I was born. I don't know. Was I born in a tent? Now you're yelling at me. Now I'm fucking scared and confused, and you're throwing riddles at me. Because what's born in a tent got to do with anything? Just out of nowhere. Were you born in a tent? Like, all you did was walk from one room to another, and someone goes, were you born in a tent? If a tomato travels at the speed of light, will it turn into ketchup? That's the kind of fucking, it's nonsense. Fucking boomers.
This system doesn't care about us. It cares about banking stability and asset prices. If house prices fall, it triggers negative equity, bad loans, and severe knock-on effects across the economy. So instead, they import demand to prop up the market and protect the banks, even if it means pushing everyday Aussies into homelessness. Nearly 1 in 5 Australians work in the public sector, fully reliant on government income. When that many people depend on the system to survive, who's left to question it? Dependency breeds silence, and silence breeds decay. We've sold off our land, our homes, our resources, all to the highest bidder. The value is created by working Australians, while the profits are shipped off overseas.
Yeah, look, vote for me or get fucked. This is what it comes down to. I will get a house in every garage, 2 cars in every living room. I'll fucking make it happen. I'll fucking get everyone a house. I will fucking tank the housing market. You watch all these cunts fucking clamour. So yeah, vote for me or get fucked.
We've lost something deeper, our purpose, our sense of community. Modern society has created adults that are completely dependent on banks, on government handouts, on a healthcare system that treats illnesses for the food that we're sold. And I believe all of this is rooted in fake wealth, created by a currency that's constantly being devalued.
He's absolutely right. Spot on. The thing about the food as well, something needs to happen with the farming. They've discovered in the Amazon somewhere this. They had this system of burning, creating just pure carbon and putting it into the ground, and it was fertile for thousands of years. Meanwhile, the land that we're farming now, there's no nutrients in it. This is why, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to take carrots out of my grandmother's vagina. No, her garden. I'd get the carrots out of my grandmother's vagina and they were delicious. No, out of her garden. And they were delicious. They tasted like a carrot. I haven't tasted a carrot like that since. And, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Yeah. There's some interesting, there's videos going around where, they bury a pair of cotton underwear in two different fields. One in a field that has been farmed over and over. I also think that like perhaps farmers are not letting the ground lay fallow. Perhaps the production is just farm it, farm it, farm it, farm it. Just keep working the same land every year. You've got to let it lay fallow. I don't know. That's just a theory I have. I don't have anything to back that up. But anyway, they bury the cotton underwear in one in a field where food is being grown, a farmed field with all the chemicals and everything, and another pair in a organic garden, home garden that is completely organic. And they dig them up after 30 days, and the underwear, the cotton underwear, this cotton natural fiber that's put in the organic soil is basically completely gone. All that's left is the elastic, and everything else is eaten away because that's what should happen. But in the earth where our food is being grown, they pull them out and they're in the same state. They're like a perfectly good pair of underwear. They just need a wash. So the earth is not doing what it's supposed to do because the earth has been over-farmed. Perhaps this creating that dark carbon could work. But the way, I mean, we've just walked into this. It just fucking amazes me that we've just walked into this. That we let companies like Monsanto sell us fucking demon seeds, genetically engineered demon seeds, and you have to buy them I couldn't understand it. The farmers around here, I was a kid when this started happening, and they'd be like, oh no, we use these because they're resistant to this or that. And I'd be like, but you have to buy it every year and it won't surely they're fucking with you at this point. I mean, doesn't that seem kind of obvious? And I was just like, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, we walk into this like, that Austrian painter, I mean, this is why so many people are turning to the Austrian painter and going, he actually made a lot of good points. In the words of Norm Macdonald, it's just that Hitler was the greatest man who ever lived. Fucking miss that dude. Anyway, we'll play this whole video because why not?
And when money loses value, so do people, especially men. It weakens them, it silences them, it turns them into obedient workers instead of strong voices.
That's absolutely true. Also, the point Axe keeps making, which I think is very good, is when people say, oh, young people don't want to work. Well, no, they don't want to work for nothing. They don't want to work to just barely survive. They want, you don't work because you love the work. All those people that say do something that you love and you'll never work a day in your life and all that, that's like maybe 1% of people get to do that, manage to pull that off. Most people are out here grinding away doing what they have to fucking do to put fucking food on the table. My mate Tom, I don't think he loves stacking chickens, right? but he does it to put fucking food on the table. You work for the money and that which money will give you. So when you send people out there and they're like, well, look, you can either get the dole or you can work a job and get $5 more than the dole or less than the dole. And the tax system's completely corrupt. The amount of people I've known who've gotten fucked up by getting a raise. You get a raise, you're working a job and and they go, oh, we're going to give you a raise. Suddenly you're up in a higher tax bracket and you're getting less fucking money than you were getting before. I had a friend who, she was working a job, but she also had certain benefits from the government. Then she got into a higher tax bracket. Suddenly all those benefits were gone. She was struggling like a motherfucker. It's insane.
We've traded resilience for convenience, truth for comfort. And in that silence, addiction takes root. Men escape into porn, video games, gambling, social media. Short-term dopamine hits numb the pain, but never fix it. It keeps us passive, distracted, disconnected from each other and from ourselves. We become stats in a system that values debt over dignity. The shiny facade of prosperity is hiding a deeper rot. No one's thriving, just surviving. We no longer hire based on merit, we hire based on quotas. Skilled Aussies are overlooked to tick diversity boxes. We can't even agree on what a woman is, let alone guide children through childcare without confusing them into thinking they're animals. We can't even agree on one day to celebrate this country, yet we'll dedicate full weeks and even months to identity campaigns while everyday Australians struggle in silence. Everyone mocks it in the lunchroom, but no one dares say a word in public. You know, I used to think Australians would stand up and say enough, but we didn't. We were injected with a rush vaccine just to go to work or grab a beer. We were divided by a referendum, distracted by identity politics, while our standard of living collapsed behind the scenes. And rising property prices give many a false sense of wealth, keeping them just comfortable enough not to question any of it.
And then if you're a boomer, you get a fucking reverse mortgage and fucking just sell it all out anyway. This is what I mean. This is the kind of fucking nonsense that's going on. People getting reverse fucking mortgages. Freedom unifies the soul. POTUS, is that SOTU? February 5th, 2000. Freedom unifies the soul. That's beautiful. I like that. Freedom unifies the soul. That's a good song lyric.
Debt, dopamine, and division. That's how they keep us compliant. I've let a lot go. Being homeless has stripped me of my material things, and it's opened my eyes.
Being homeless does suck. I will say that. It really fucking sucks.
I've seen the poverty, the addiction, and the despair, and I know it's only going to get worse. So, I'm carving a new path. I've quit the industry because I can't justify
Stomping in the fucking chat. How are you, brother?
by working to fund a system that punishes the very people that keep it running. I spent years building and maintaining infrastructure, only to see the profits go to banks, foreign companies, and a government that doesn't care. I'd rather be homeless and free than keep playing this rigged game. I'm just a bloke who's had enough. I don't have all the answers, but I can't stay silent. I hope by sharing this offers some perspective, something real, something grounded, something that we're all living through. I'm not here with a master plan. I'm just here to speak the truth and connect with others who see what's going on. If any of this hits home with you, drop a comment. If you live in it or have lived it, tell me what did it for you. What was the moment that said, that's it, I'm done? If this resonates with you, stick around. This is the new normal they promised us, and I want no part of it.
There you go. It's fucking good to see, man. I haven't been streaming much. I haven't done it for a couple of weeks. We were going to do a debate thing yesterday with Harv. Old Truth Dungeon coming out again. But yeah, no, I've got this set up. It's kind of working. I'll try and get my video. I miss the girl. I have to have the pillow fighting girls in the background or it's just not worth it. You know? God damn it. I won't live in a world without pillow fighting bitches in the background. Something about the standard you accept or something. I won't accept a standard where I don't have pillow fighting, occasional bit of titties in the background. That's what makes it all worthwhile. Titties really are the kind of, you can really judge a civilization and the people by the quality of the titties. What else we got? I really don't know what happened to that I had. Maybe I'll look it up. Yuri Bezmenov. Where are we? A conversation with Yuri. KGB defector Yuri Bezmenov. That's not the one. All right, let's watch this. Okay, here we go. Let's have some Yuri. I think we need a bit of Yuri to kind of inspire us. Yeah, I know. I miss those bitches too, brother. I'll get some video editing software and I'll bring them back tomorrow. I wanted to bring them up with me so they could fight. Eventually, I want to get this channel big enough and like profitable in some way so that I can actually hire a bunch of bitches to be behind me, just pillow fighting at all time. That is my goal for this channel. I'll just put the camera on them. I won't say anything. It's just fucking hours pillow fighting.
Is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
And haven't they done a fucking bang-up job of confusing it? Like, I liken the situation we're in to a mirror or a pane of glass being smashed. You know, the first hammer hit, just bam, and it splinters, but there's still the factions, and then bam, bam, and they just, everything's been shattered into, fuck. It really is individualism gone insane, gone mad. Like, I really, this is the thing, this is what I keep coming back to with Christianity. And again, I'm not saying be a Christian, I'm just saying don't attack it and be aware of what we lost. That was our unifying, that was the one thing that unified people. Anyway, we've sort of, I don't know, we've lost it now. It's gone. Everyone's. So you're never going to get rid of religion, though. This is what I find fucking hilarious about it, is you're never going to get rid of religion. People are always going to seek religion. So if you destroy Christianity and get rid of it completely, well, now you got a bunch of people becoming Muslims. They're not going to become Jews. It's too expensive, and they're not exactly out there recruiting. I've had I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on, but I've had Christians coming at me hard the last couple of weeks on Facebook. Fucking coming at me hard. The fucking, what are those fucking freaks? The goddamn, not Mormons. They're like Latter-day Saints or something, but they're those ones that they're just, maybe it is Mormons, I don't know, but they're like next level, but they're coming at me, man. It's kind of weird. Careful who you defend, I guess.
It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy.
Don't be surprised if you send your children off to Caesar when they come back Romans. Government control. Fuck, I've got the... Hang on, I'm going to just adjust the chat a little bit, see if I can get it a little more. Government control, i.e. mental mind, worse than etymological relevant of the work, fits with Yuri. I haven't quite got the chat optimized for reading, but yeah, it govern equals control, mentis. Oh, okay, I'm seeing it. Govern equals control. Yep, govern, mentis, mental, mind. Yep. Yeah, he's a fucking... This guy was like... It's kind of... I love the line, take the bananas out of your ears. That's one of my favorite lines of his. But yeah, this is... Yeah, that does... It fits with what Yuri's saying. But it just amazes me that... This is the information we've had for all these years. We've had these people coming out, dudes like Yuri... And even the frustration he seems to have in his ears when he's talking about all your media has to do is unplug the bananas from the... Like, he senses the frustration. He taught people about this.
In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students.
You know, you can brainwash yourself as well. You can brainwash yourself into... positive habits, better mind, better frame of mind, better, like, I've had to do this shit. I've had to, like, you know, you have to fuck with your own mind and you have to decide what brainwashing you will get, because we all start out brainwashed. But what they're doing to the kids today is fucking outrageous.
Without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black. You still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior.
Yeah, that's something that I think we've all come across. That you can hammer home a point. You can hit people with absolute logic. You can hit people with, like, facts, logic, but once something's imprinted on their brain, it's like the example of racism that I was talking about before. It's like racism bad, racism equals this, racism. And you take that, you just strip it back and you go, okay, no, what is racism? Racism is looking at race differences. It's not inherently a bad thing. If you look at race differences and you say, oh, all those people are fucked and we ought to murder them, that's bad. But just pointing out that there's differences in race is not bad in itself. It's just a fact. So when did facts become the enemy?
In other words, these people...
But that's really good. I remember seeing that. The govern equals control, mentis, mental. Govern your mind. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing to us. It's what they've been doing to us. They keep this shit revolving so we can never really communicate properly. I mean, I have so many fucking issues. Like, you say a single word and people just tune out. I've had so many instances where I drop the R word, say someone's a retard or something, and they just fucking tune it. It's like, I can't talk to you because of a single word. Or you drop an M-bomb or something, you know. If they won't see the light, make them feel the heat. That's fucking great. Reagan had some good ones. Reagan was fucking... He had some good jokes too.
The process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you have...
I'm actually kind of amazed at the amount of like American presidents that at the time I was just told, everyone was like, oh, that person's bad, and it's just bad. And I mean, Reagan did some fucked up things as well, but very interested in Nixon, the way he's been like portrayed, and everyone hates Nixon, this whole kind of thing. But it's really a media campaign. And then you find out Nixon talked some smack about a certain tribe of people, and yeah, and then he gets fucking pilloried in the media. Oh god damn. My favorite one is I've said this many times before. If you say they control the banks, they'll take away your money. If you say they control the media, they'll pillory you in the media and call you crazy. Now, Israeli war criminals are escaping to Argentina, which is exactly what the Nazis did. But if you point out that they're acting like Nazis, they send you to Auschwitz.
You need another...
Say what you want about this timeline, but it's fucking entertaining.
20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place, and
yes,
who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice, obviously they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people, and the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. They will join the links of dissenters, dissidents.
Yes.
Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America. Here you can get popular like Daniel Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda for being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon. In future, these people will be simply squashed like cockroaches. Nobody is going to pay them nothing for their beautiful, noble ideas of equality. This they don't understand, and it will be greatest shock for them, of course.
And they will be put up against the wall. I can't remember the moment where I realized, like, all the people that I'd grown up with and all the comedians, like Bill Hicks. Oh, Bill Hicks is so great. But really, he was just part of the destabilization process. And having that moment of realizing that so much of the culture that I was raised on and that I was used to was just absolutely about destabilization, and it was all just part, and I was part of it. And that realized, it just made me go, well, fuck, hang on, what else is there? And it just, yeah. It's such a dirty trick. It takes you a long time to kind of figure things out and realize these things, for the most part. I guess the sooner you do it in life, the better off you'll be. To some degree. I don't know. So, like I say, the character in The Matrix that I am most, like, aligned with, I think, is Cypher. Because the amount of times I've been like, fuck, I'd love to be sitting at that table going, just put me back in. Just fucking, just put me back to sleep. That would be kind of nice. Let me sleep in. Just sleep your way through life. Interesting.
The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years. Actually, it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success.
Isn't it weird? Yeah. All those people, they were like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right side of history. Yeah. It is fucking weird. I mean, Carl and all those cats, like that is kind of the comedian's job, but it's gotten so flooded, and now you see it like how ridiculous it's gotten. It's like now I understand the people who didn't like Hicks at the time. They saw Hicks the way I see comedians now. All the shit that you see on Netflix, and it's all the fucking the same nonsense. Anti-white, anti-racist. Which we all know anti-racist just means anti-white. This is what I mean, the way they've inverted everything. They've turned, so racism now is only white people can be racist. That's the most... That shows you the level of evil that this is, that they can convince people that only white people can be racist. The fact that people actually believe that, it shows you how distorted people's minds have become.
Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. So basically America is stuck with demoralization, and unless, even if you start right now, here, this minute, you start educating new generation of Americans, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism.
Carlin does seem, it's all sus. When you go back and look at it, like I listen to a lot of those old comedians and I'm like, well, this is, at least they were doing what comedians are supposed to do. Comedians are supposed to point out certain absurdities. But what's gotten fucked up now is like, no one has any idea of truth. Like they've destroyed the very concept of truth to such a degree that how do you restore something when no one knows what it is? No one knows what we're restoring it to. It's kind of impossible. This is why the issue with masculinity is such a thing. It's like women are going, oh, where are all the men? Well, a lot of men don't know what a real man is or what a real man does anymore. They've never seen it in their entire lives. It's like, well, I don't fucking know what I'm supposed to be. And we're just adrift in this whole fucking, like, so how do we restore normalcy when we don't know what it is? And this is why I keep coming back to Christianity, because it gave us that foundation. It gave us, so even if you're not a Christian, you can go, well, the moral code, the way of life, the everything about it. And I'm not even talking about the religion. I'm talking about the community. Because the communities would get together. The priests are all off in the fucking air, whatever, doing their thing. But the community would get together and they'd be like, well, we've got a problem. Let's sort it out. You know, the fucking Crusades were done by Christians, you know. I think that's what we need. We need modern day Crusades. We just need to, instead of just going after, you know, just the muzzies, we need to go after the bankers and a certain tribe.
The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, it doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation, what matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in '68, Comrade Brezhnev said, now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized. This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. He will go to Moscow to kiss the bottoms of new generation of Soviet assassins. Never mind. He will create false illusions that the situation is under control. Situation is not under control. Situation is disgustingly out of control. Most of the American politicians, media, and educational system trains another generation of people who think they are living at a peacetime. False. The United States is in the state of war, undeclared total war against the basic principles and the foundations of this system.
A lot of people say World War II never ended. Other people say World War III started quite some time ago. And I think both of those attitudes are correct. But they are pushing us into this system where it's going to be the thing of no one's going to have any pride in the countries anymore. Anywhere that were once considered white countries, no one's going to have any pride. And I don't care that there's a lot of non-whites. I mean, you can still have national pride, no matter what you are, where you come from. Those first generations, they're hardcore. Fucking, you need people to own something, though. I used to see this when I lived in the flats on Brunswick Street, the commission housing. Anywhere there's commission housing, it's shit. It's just fucking shit. People aren't taking care of the gardens and shit. It's just trash. It's garbage. I do a joke about my brother had a commission house place, and he died a couple of years ago. And the joke I do is we're at my brother's funeral, and someone said to me, "Oh, he's gone to a better place." And I said, "Well, that wouldn't be hard. He lived in Heidelberg West. It's a fucking garbage suburb. It's fucking awful." Anytime I've posted anything from at Heidelberg West. It's just fucking people just come on going, oh, that's such a shit place. It really is just because people don't fucking own something there. People don't own it, and the people who do own, I know, the whole place is just trash. So you need people to own something that they can take a bit of fucking pride in. It's sad to say, but the commission housing thing, the whole thing, because like a lot of the Vietnamese that came out here and still come out here, they go into commission housing and they sell heroin. And because they are imports, their kids get given flats straight away. Like when I was on the commission housing list, I think I'm probably actually still on it. It'd be funny if I got a commission place now. They would be given their own flats, and so that every time they got a new flat, that's just another outlet for their business. And so their businesses would grow, and then they just go off and buy a house because they're making all this fucking money, and then they trash that place too. They wouldn't even give a shit about the fucking places they bought. It's just, it instills in people this fucking a real lack of pride in anything because you don't own it, you don't care about it. I don't know. It's very weird.
And the initiation.
As they said in the Soviet Union, we pretend to work and they pretend to pay us.
Of this war is not Comrade Andropov, of course. It's the system. However ridiculous it may sound, the world communist system or the world communist conspiracy, whether I scare some people or not, I don't give a hoot. If you are not scared by now, nothing can scare you. But you don't have to be paranoid about it. What actually happens now, that unlike myself, you have literally several years to live on unless the United States wake up. The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster is coming closer and closer. Unlike myself, you will have nowhere to defect to.
If you're not scared by now, nothing can scare you. And you won't have anywhere to defect to. This is why people are leaving the country. Like that guy before, he was saying, I'm leaving Australia. Why would you stay here? I think if you're going to stay in Australia, like we have to fight. If we're staying in Australia, we have to fight. And I honestly, Harv has said to me many times, come to Thailand. And Thailand is fucking great. There's a lot about Thailand that's fucking great. It's like stepping back in time. They're banning the weed, but I really don't give a fuck about weed. But yeah, I don't want to live somewhere where I can't own property. I want to at least own some fucking property. Like I've got this place, I'm going to fix it up. But then this is not my final fucking destination. This is not what I want to be my final fucking destination. But I don't want to move to a country where I can't fucking own the property and I don't really belong and I have to learn another language because I'm not going to fucking learn to speak Thai or Cambodian or... But I am going to travel. I am planning on traveling. So... But, you know, if you're traveling, you don't have to fucking learn 100 different languages. You just go and you yell at people, right? You yell at them in English so until they understand. Where's the hotel? And that's the... Yelling is the universal language. Everyone understands yelling. You know what I mean? Anyway, it is good. I've been enjoying the stream. I'm going to bounce shortly because it's late. I might try and... Oh, shit, it's 10 to 2. I'll come on again. I'll try and come back again tomorrow. Maybe I'll get on a little earlier if I get to the gym a little earlier and get this whole thing working. Still got to upload a intro and an outro. Thanks, Stompin'. I like that joke too. Yeah, you know. Anyway, this is John Kiriakou. John, former CIA. There's no such thing as former CIA.
Rest assured, we stand with Israel. Why? Why do you stand with Israel? Were you standing with Israel when they blew up the oldest continually operating church in the world, St. Porphyrius, and killed 24 women and children inside? You standing with them then? Are you standing with them as they blew up all 7 of Gaza's hospitals? And killed now how many hundreds of thousands of civilians?
Right.
Because if you're standing with that, I'm not standing with you.
Yeah, that is a pretty good fucking measure in this day and age. If you stand with Israel, yeah, I don't think we can. That is kind of a litmus. It's a pretty quick litmus test for people. Anyway, we'll cover more of the Israel stuff, I'm sure. I'm sure they'll do some more horrific shit. It's, you know, it's a complicated situation. The Middle East. The Middle East. What about the far right East? Or the left East? This was interesting. Well, I bookmarked it, so it might be good.
I went to a party and a guy asked me if I would be more scared if I was in the woods and I came across a bear or a man. And I was like, a bear, obviously. And he was like, 99% of women have been saying a man. And then this woman was just like, I would be more afraid if I saw a man. Yeah, more men kill women than bears. We also interact with a lot more men than we do bears, don't we? If you went one day where you saw as many bears as you normally see guys, you would die that day. We have sex with men. Try f***ing a bear. Let me know how that goes. A bear would literally eat your p***.
That's a pretty good bit. One thing I am liking about comedy now, it's annoying because it's the kind of comedy I've been doing for like 8 years. I started comedy 10 years ago. And about 2 years in, I realized what fucking nonsense it was. And so I just started kind of more speaking my mind and trying to do more of this, like, anti-woke stuff. But it wore me down. I just got to the point where I was like, fuck, this is not worth it. But I kept doing it. I was still doing it. I still do it now. But, yeah. I am enjoying seeing a lot more fucking real comedy coming out. It's really good. Some more like common sense. People actually talking sense instead of just talking absolute bullshit and nonsense. I will end it on. We'll end on some Nick. I don't have any of the. I don't have an intro or outro done at the moment. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna end. You know, it's an. Oh fuck! I've got another box of dogs quote. I'll pull that up tomorrow as well. Well, tomorrow I'll make a new. Someone said Harv found me a clip. I'll play that tomorrow because I haven't got it pulled up at the moment. But so, what we're going to end on is this is kind of another box of dogs. This is how awesome dogs are. Even cats want to be dogs. So I'm going to love yous and leave yous with this. It's been Grouse seeing you again. It's been a while. Thanks for tuning in. Love yous. This is cats that think they're dogs.
Sit.
Apparently cats just mimic that which they're brought up with, which I find fascinating. So if you bring them up around dogs, they'll just think they're a dog. Someone said they don't think of you as a human, they just think of you as a big cat that's good at hunting.
She's growling. Nana. Nana.